I'll just repeat the supplies that are required. We'll need the watercolors. That is, yours might be a little bit different from mine, but we should have a good amount of colors to do our fruits. Then an outlined paper, watercolor paper. Then a cup of water and brushes. Now, paint brushes, they can be rounded, thin, and a flat one if you have it. Then what else we need? We'll need paper towel and white acrylic paint. Thank you, Lynn, for providing it to everyone, and I hope you were all able to pick it from the library. And what else? I think we are good. And in case, you can later on grab a disposable plate or a paint palette just to paint the white acrylic, just to put some white acrylic paint in it so that it's easy for you to use it. Now let's start the session. I hope you don't have any questions. In case you have, please let me know. And anytime you can ask me any question related to the art, and I'll be there to help you. In case the screen is not clear, I'll be asking Lynn about it, and everyone. You can even give a thumbs up to give me a go ahead if everything is good. So I'll just check out if I have got a few thumbs ups for me to continue and start the session. Thank you, Lynn. Anybody else? Thank you, Ellen. Okay, so you two are representing everyone and I should go ahead. So let's start. So this is the painting that we are going to create, and it's a colorful painting. I hope you will enjoy creating it. Please grab something to snack on. I forgot to tell about that. Please grab something to eat and to drink so that you can enjoy along with learning. So here's my outlined paper. And we'll start with one piece at a time, one element at a time. So we'll start with the one on the top right corner, which is the easiest of all. And there's a repetition. I'll be telling all the techniques that are needed to be done here, which will be helpful to further create new paintings if you want to create with watercolors. Take your rounded brush. I'll be a little slow in the beginning, and then we'll continue a little with a quicker pace, but you can all work at your own pace. So the first technique that I'm going to introduce to you is the wet on wet technique. So just take your cup of water, dip your rounded brush in water. Now we'll start with the center section that you have created. Just wet that section. Wet it enough, not too much, so that the color can easily spread on that particular section. You can see by moving here and there just to see a little reflection of the water, and you'll be able to see how much water you've put. Now the next step is the color that I'm using here is yellow and green. So you can take it as a lemon or a lime that we are creating, but the color is your choice. Whichever color you want to use, just follow the same technique with the same color and you'll be able to get the right effect. Now I'm dipping my brush in water again and taking some yellow color. I always try to take a light shade to start with the base shading. So the center part, I'll just use the tip of my brush and let the yellow color spread. So if you see here, your color is spreading on its own, but at the same time, you can give a little direction to it. So my base shade is yellow now. And the technique that we followed is the wet on wet technique. That is, I just wetted the base. I added some water on my brush and then used color on it and put it on a wet base. So that way it's a wet brush on wet base technique, which in short is called wet on wet technique. It's easy to remember by relating to what you're actually doing in this technique. Now the next step is to take some green color because I'm making a lime or a lemon slice. So I'm taking some green. So whichever green shade you have, dark or light, just take it on your brush because you have a base shade of yellow. It will turn a little light. Now we are spreading green on the wet base with yellow color. Just go in the direction of the triangular outline that you have made. And randomly, with the tip of the brush, just try to blend the yellow with the green. So if you see any hard edges, now this will introduce you to another technique. That is when you are mixing two colors, light and dark, there shouldn't be any line in between them that usually forms when the color dries. So to take away that, we try to use our brush and give a little direction and blend in the two colors to give a soft edge to that is to take away any hard edges. Now, it depends on you how bright or how light you want to make the color. You want to make it bright, you can add more color like this. If you want to keep it light, you can do another technique, which I'll be telling you now. Just clean your brush. Just take away all water and color from it and use your dry brush on any brighter part of your element. That way, it will take away any extra color and give it a faded shade. So this technique is called the dry brush technique, wherein you have no color, no water, just a dry brush. Just rub it lightly on top of your color and it will fade it out. I hope it is good till now. You are all able to follow, but along with that, you all are able to enjoy as well. In case not, please let me know. Don't hesitate, and you can ask me in chat or you can unmute yourself. Now, this is one section that I did. I said I'll be a little slow here because now when we'll go further, it'll be a repetition and then we can go at a faster pace. Let's come to the next section. Now, this is base shading. We haven't completed this yet. We are just giving a base shade to our painting. Now, take the next section. You can take the left one or the right one and just wet it, applying the same wet on wet technique. Take yellow and let it spread. Now this is quite bright, I can see. So just to show you what we can do, just dry your brush, take away all water and color from it, and just use or rub some dry brush on the yellow color. That will take away a little bit color and fade it out. It will absorb some color. Now we can quickly take some green shade that we took earlier and just go in the same direction. The only trick I would like you all to follow is go in the same direction as the outline is. You've outlined it going upwards or diagonally or circular. Paint in the same direction. That gives a nice texture to your work. Now, when your color dries, you'll see some hard edges. You can quickly use a little water and rub lightly. Don't rub it too hard, otherwise the paper dust will come on your paper. So to avoid that, just try to rub it lightly. Now let's quickly come to the next section. Now there is a little space in between each section. It's okay even if the color goes there. We need a light yellow shade there and we already have yellow there, so it can easily spread inside it. You don't need to be that specific because it's very minute details and we don't need to be that much careful here. Now wetting the next section, and now I know what you all know what to do. Just take some yellow color, let it spread. You see, I'm going in the same direction as the outline. And you can see I'm going a little faster because now I have confidence you all are doing good and you're able to follow. And just to boost up my confidence more, I would love to see a few thumbs ups. Did anyone do? Thank you, Marion. Anyone else? Thank you, Lynn. Okay. Next is take some green. And you see, lightly, I'm just spreading it. And I don't need to spread it throughout. I need a mix of yellow and green. So yellow can peep out a little bit from the green and try to blend in with the green. Again, as I said earlier, this is what we call as the base shading. You can add more color as it dries. As the painting dries, we can add more color. We can activate the painting again. Just adding a little bit more. And then I'm letting it dry. Now we are done with these three sections for the lime or the lemon. Now we can come to the circular part. Now the two lines that you have created, the curved lines, we can color that in too. Now here we don't need the wet on wet technique. Till now we've been using the wet on wet technique. Now we'll just use the wet on dry technique. Where the base is dry, we are not putting any water there, and you are just taking some color on a little wet brush and applying it on a dry base. So that's why it's wet brush on dry base technique, which is called wet on dry technique. Now I am going to show you. I have just wet my brush and I'm taking some green color. Whichever green shade you have, you can easily use it. Start with a lesser amount of color and then you can keep on layering with more color till the point you are satisfied. Yeah, I need this shade on my line or my element. To be on the safer side that the color doesn't spread out, just try to make an outline and then start filling inside. You don't need to make it too bright, but if you want to make it bright, just layer it more with the same color. Now maybe 3/4 I have colored it green. Now I just want to blend it. So I'm cleaning my brush, taking a little water on my brush and blend it with the base shade. You can see it's blending. And I also want to add some yellow color here. Here we didn't use yellow before the green. We'll be using yellow after the green. So I can show you a little bit here. Taking some yellow color. My watercolors are all used up. I have been using it for so long, but I love this kit so much that I'm still using it and it's helping me. Okay, take some yellow and just add it on any section of this circular portion just to give a yellow effect and a green effect together blended in. Some color may go inside those thin lines, it's okay. So we are done with the line. We are done with one element. Not entirely, but the main portion is done. Now we can move to the next element. We can take it as an orange slice. So we'll keep it more orange and a little bit yellow. Thank you for the thumbs up. Let's come to the next one. We'll start with the triangles. You must have created or outlined the triangles. Thank you, Marian, for the thumbs up. And we are using the rounded brush again, and we are using the wet on wet technique again. So now I know you all must be knowing what is wet on wet technique. You can start with any triangle. We can wet two triangles at a time. This one, I'll be showing you which ones I am doing. The one that I'm doing right now and the one in front of it. Here. I'm doing that. I'm not doing the consecutive ones because when I'm coloring one triangle, the color might spread into the other if I wet the consecutive one. So I'm doing one in front of it. So two triangles. And here I'm using orange color. Let me show you the shade I'm using. You can use any shade that you have. This one. And just spread it. Try to start with the outline. From the outline, start coloring and let the color spread in. And the aim is not to just create one shade. We can create two shades with the same orange color, somewhere light, somewhere dark, and that's what we are doing. And that's why we are using the wet on wet technique. So if you see, there is little dark, there is little light orange with the same orange color. But the only thing we can do here is use your dry brush to absorb the extra color and give a two shade effect with one orange color. Now, if you want to add more, you can take some more orange. I'm taking some more orange color and adding it on the wet base. So somewhere it's light, somewhere it's dark. Now using the dry brush, I'm just blending in the colors and fading. Next, we can come to the triangle that is in front of the first one that we did. I already added little orange there. I'm going to add more. So again, this is base shading. You can activate your painting anytime to add more color or a brighter touch. You can add even more here. You can keep it bright as this is, this one, the first triangle, or you can keep it a little faded as I'm making the second one. Now, wherever you want to use a dry brush technique, you can use a dry brush. I'm just fading it out a little bit here. Now we can continue further with the rest of the triangles the same way as I did the first one and the second. And you can even add a little shade of red, which we can do later while outlining. Now next I'm wetting the next two triangles, whichever ones you choose. And even if some color goes in, it's okay. So I'm taking the one on the right of the first one and one in front of it. See, some color will spread in and that will make your task easy to give a base shade to your work. You can take some from the other and give a base shade to it. Now you can take some more orange color and then just keep on adding more. Take the other triangle and keep on adding more orange. I hope you all are doing good. And in case you have any questions, please let me know. And I hope you are enjoying too. That's the main aim of doing our watercolor sessions. It's enjoyment as well as learning. So I would love to know how you all are doing. Maybe by end of the session. Now you must be seeing I'm rubbing a little bit of brush on the first triangle because I want to take away any hard edges that are forming when the color is drying up. Now we can go further with the rest of the triangles. Now you can even color them all. I mean, you can wet them all first, and some color from the previous triangles will get inside the new ones. That will be helpful for you to shade in or to give a base shade to your painting. Now keep on adding some orange again on all the triangles. Add a little more. I always try to add some color on the outlines. And when you add the color on the outlines on a base, wet base, that helps in spreading the color inside nicely and makes our job easier. Adding some more. And even if some color goes out of the orange, it's okay. That will happen, and that happens to me too, because we are going to add some yellow there and it will blend in with the orange and give a natural effect to your orange slice. Just adding a little bit more here. Adding some more on the last one too. And I'm cleaning my brush now using my dry brush. And I am blending the colors. Adding a little bit more here. So the aim is to make it bright and faded together so that it gives a nice texture to your orange slice. If I am like working on my own, I can keep on working on this orange for an hour until I'm satisfied. So watercolors are so tempting that until I am able to get something, the perfect texture that I want, I keep on working on it. And you can do the same. I won't do it here because I have to complete the painting with you all, but you can work on it at your own pace until you are happy and satisfied with your work. So you can see I have completed all the triangular sections in the slice. And now we can move to the outside curve or the circle. So with the tip of the brush, or you can even take your thin brush. Now, before that, if you see here, there is a little hard edge on the triangle. If you see the same anywhere, you can just use a little water on your brush and just rub it lightly and it will take away any hard edges. Now with a thin brush or with a rounded brush, with the tip of the brush, you can take some orange color. Now the base doesn't need to be wet here. You just need a dry base. So we are using the wet on dry technique here. And with the tip of my brush, I'm just adding some orange color throughout this outer section. That is the skin of the orange slice. And if you see here, there is a bright orange. So if you have this kind of orange or bright color there, you can use a little water, very little water, and just spread it further. Spread it further. Keep on spreading. Add more orange color. Wet orange. Wet your brush a little and spread this orange further. So you can continue throughout the circle. So when I'm painting this, I'm reminded of the bicycle that we did. We did those circular tires and it took us so much time. But these ones are bigger. And I'm sorry for the trouble if you have to go through it again. But by the end, it will be all worth it. I'm almost done with this. And just to make it like easy for you, we need to keep it natural. So we don't need a perfect circle here. We don't need it to be very much intricate. We can spread a little color. It's okay. It can come out even, But there is a way to dab it. You can even clean it, or we can even use that color for the background shading. So we are done with the second uh, fruit slice. That's the orange one. And we will continue with the next ones. But before that, I would love to know if you have any questions. Are we all good? Okay. I was just waiting and giving you a little time so that you can complete whichever section you are on. Don't want to rush anyone. And we have enough time to complete the entire painting. Now let's come to the next slice. Which color should we do? We can do some pink or purple. So, you know, the grapefruits, they are in different colors. We can consider it a grapefruit. We can make it pink. And if you don't have pink, you can even make it red or you can even make it purple. Whichever shade you choose, you can apply the same technique as I'm doing here. Let's start. Again, wetting. So, you know, there's a repetition, just that a change of color, but repetition of techniques. Wet on wet technique, trying to stay away from the circular portion here. From the orange circular portion. Even if some orange spreads in, it's okay because it is wet, it might spread in, but you will be able to layer it with another color that is pink, purple, or red, whichever shade you feel like. I'm doing two at a time. I'm wetting two at a time. I'm taking pink color here. So I'll just show you the shade that I'm taking. I'm taking this pink. And so there's some pink on my brush, pink color, and I am starting from the outline here. Like this. Spreading it inside, giving a two shade effect here with some pink color. And then I am using my dry brush technique and giving a little bit of texture to the base. So you can do that right now, or you can even do it when the color dries or when you have given the base shade. You can even add more effect or activate your painting or that element again. So I think I had used a little water on the second section too, but it might have got dried, so I'm adding a little bit more just to be on the safe side. Taking pink again, or any color of your choice. I hope it has not got boring for you. I know it's a repetition of techniques. I usually do that because it helps you in making the task a little easier for you. I don't want to make it like overwhelming here. It's more of rejuvenation and learning. So let's have fun along. That's why I don't make it too stressful. I know the circles are a little stressful here, but I think when it'll be done, it'll be all worth it and you'll feel we did a great job. Just coloring the next triangle here. With the next one, color the next one. And keep on going until you are done with all the triangles or the sections. Let's move to the next triangle. I'll just wet both the triangles here. Take some color. Put it on a wet base. And you see that there is like a lot of color spreading. So with the dry brush, I am just making it balanced so that any extra water or extra color gets absorbed. Adding more for the next triangle, and you can see I am moving my paper just to be comfortable. Wherever which position I'm comfortable, I just put the paper, I just keep on rotating or moving it. That makes it easier for me. So I'm done with the third one, the inside triangles. We can do the outside of the fruit as well. And it's the color choice is yours. You can do pink, or you can even use the orange color to give a symmetry throughout. I'm thinking of using orange here. So with my thin brush or with my rounded brush, I'm going to apply the dry on dry technique here. Or you can even call it as a wet on dry technique, because you are wetting your brush a little bit just to activate the color that you are using for the element. I'm using orange. And I am just filling it in. And I see it's quite bright. Now what I'll do is I just did one section here. What you can do is just take a little water, clean your brush and take a little water and spread this brighter orange or brighter color that you've already used to spread it further. I'll just zoom it in a little bit. Take some more orange and keep on spreading until your entire circle or outside is complete. Now, if you want to layer it more, you want to add more brighter touch, you can add it like this. So somewhere it's dark, somewhere it's light. That gives a nice texture, and some of the color might come out. It's okay, because we want a natural texture there. We don't want a perfect circle here. Like this. Let me just unzoom it. I'm just using a little bit of dry brush here to absorb the extra color. And then let it dry. Let's come to the next fruit shape. And just wanted to know, haven't asked it for long, how are we all doing? I hope you all are enjoying. And a thumbs up would do. Even a heart would be great. So if you know how to give a heart, that would be a great encouragement too. But yes, a thumbs down would be okay too if you are not clear about anything or you want me to repeat anything. No one? Lynn. So now you'll have to give me the thumbs up. How are you doing? You can unmute. Ellen, thank you so much. A little bit of chit chat is also good, right? Just working.
How do you give a heart? I'm looking to give a heart.
Sorry, it's okay. It's something there in the emojis.
Oh,
It's reactions here.
yeah. Oh, okay.
Even if you don't find it, I'm sure you are loving it. Okay, we can move to the next one. Now, I am left with the fourth fruit only, the last one. And I'm thinking, which color? Let's do the reddish orange color, a bright color. So you can either use a reddish orange if you have it, or you can use your red color because when you wet the base, it will get a little light. So it won't be that bright. So let's wet it. I'm wetting, again, I'm wetting two triangles at a time so that it makes the task a little quicker. One and the other one in front of it. Taking some orangish red color. So just to be sure, you can check the shade on your paper towel. And see, now it's too light, so I can add more. With the tip of my brush, I'm just spreading it. And you can see two shades coming out of one color. We can add more red here. So it depends on your choice how bright or how faded you want to make it. Let's come to the next one. Just zoom it a little bit. I'm wetting this one as well, and it's actually helping me to spread some red there. But you don't need to follow the same if you are not comfortable with the color spreading. I'm just showing you ways which can make the task easier for you, but I had already wet this one as well. So I can easily add some red. Now initially it's a little light, and I keep on adding more. I layer it more. So this technique is also called layering. When you keep on adding more color to make it brighter, you can call it layering. It's usually done in acrylics. Now just adding little bit red. So if you see here, it got so bright. So we can easily clean the brush, dry the brush, and use some dry brush to absorb the extra color. We'll continue further. Wetting. So usually people say that watercolors are not forgiving. I won't agree to that. Watercolors are forgiving because if you see here, if we put a little bit more color, there is no mistake in art. They're all happy accidents. So something becomes bright, you can easily absorb it or you can fade it out with the dry brush technique or even dabbing with your paper towel. Just trying to cover the entire triangle here. Adding a little bit of stroke. So to have these lines on a wet base, you can use the tip of the brush and try to spread. Now I'm coming back here. Let me unzoom it. If you see here, I can see a little hard edge and I can quickly use a little wet brush and fade it out. And make it subtle. So these techniques are not only useful in this painting, you can apply them in your future paintings in case you opt to continue watercolors. And I would say I'm really excited to see all your paintings by the end of the session. Just wetting it, wetting two triangles. Taking some orangish red color or bright orange color, you can take it as, and creating my colorful grapefruit. I am coming to the next one. So the color next to this is actually helping in spreading inside and making my task easier to give a base shade. Now I'm adding more color, layering on top to give a brighter touch. Coming here. I hope we all are doing good. Adding some more red color here. If you see this, I really love these two shades created by just one red color. And I want to keep it as is for now. But I can add more color when I want to. Add even when the colors have dried, I can activate them. Now wetting my last triangle here. Adding some red color here. Using my dry brush technique now. I hope you all have got a little hang of all these techniques. They're quite easy to remember and apply. I can see a little bit of hard edges here, which I can easily take away. Adding a little bit more red, then using the dry brush. So just giving you an idea how you can take away the hard edges, how you can give a brighter touch to your painting. And please don't focus too much on one element. When you are done with the entire painting, you'll like it, you'll love it. And you won't even see that particular portion which you didn't like earlier. You'll see it as a whole painting. Now, we are done with the triangles, but we can do the outside of the grapefruit. Take some orange color, or you can take some bright orange color or red color. I'm taking orange here just to create a symmetry that it is balanced throughout. Taking some orange now. Now, as I did earlier, I'm adding orange. It's bright. I'm cleaning the brush, wetting a little bit of the tip of the brush and spreading this orange further. So this also helps in creating two shades with one color. Going further. Now I feel that it has got too faded. So I am just adding more orange here. And you can have a little wiggly edges. If you see a grapefruit or an orange slice, they have a little wiggly edges when you cut them. So you can give that texture. That's why I said you don't need a perfect circle here. Let's move to the other section. Now it is bright again. Let me clean the brush, take a little water, and spread it further. Here I can add a little bit more orange. So we are done with the base shading throughout. We are just left with a yellow color inside, which we can easily color. And then we'll do the background. How are you all liking your paintings? Want to give a little glimpse of it to me? It's beautiful, Lynn. Very nice. How are you liking it? Loving it?
Um, I'm happy with my lime, not
Mm-hmm.
so happy with some of the other fruits, but I love the lime the best. My first one.
I also
So
like my lime the best. I don't know, maybe it's the color combination.
I was gonna say I like using the green and the yellow.
Yes.
That's what it
But
is.
but to make it more colorful, I asked you other colors. But you, in case you haven't done any one of them, you can easily do the green one,
Hmm.
right? It's
Yeah.
like the color choice is yours, but it is looking beautiful to me when I
Thank
saw it.
you. Thank you.
Okay, let's take some yellow now. Now, the only task left for these particular elements is to fill in yellow color. Now, this yellow color can be filled in with the kind of wet on dry technique, right? The base will be dry and you'll have a little wet brush with some yellow color. So, these gaps that you are seeing in your fruits, just fill them in them with yellow color. That's it. And that's what we are going to do now. So, wetting my brush a little bit and taking some yellow color, add some yellow. Now, again, if you think it's too bright, what you can do is once you have done good amount of yellow, you can just wet your brush a little bit. If I zoom it in and spread it further. So, somewhere it will be faded yellow, somewhere it will be brighter yellow. Now, we can move further to the next ones. So, same way, coming to the next one, adding some yellow. Making it bright, then making it faded throughout. Doing two together to make it a little bit faster, but you can do it at your own pace. I just need to complete everything with you all. So just doing two at a time. You can also try that since you have yellow color on it and you have to use them throughout. So you can work on them simultaneously. Just an idea. You don't need to apply it. Adding brighter yellow. And then spreading it. Adding a little yellow in the center. So if you have a little space in the center, you can add some yellow throughout. So wherever you have space, you can just add yellow and then continue with the inside parts. Complete. Now it's so quiet. That's why I keep on talking. Just continuing further and filling in the empty space. You can even overlap a little bit of red there. You can layer on top. And spreading the bright yellow here. So we are done with the entire elements here in terms of their base shading. I feel they're quite bright enough. The only thing you can do here is in any of these slices, if you want to add a little yellow effect, you can add them anywhere. So this one, I took a little yellow and added on top just to see, just to show you how it will look like. And with a dry brush, I just blended it. So what I did, I layered the red with some yellow and then I used my dry brush to fade it out. You can do it for all of them or maybe a few of them of the triangles just to give you an idea what variations can you make in this painting. Maybe two more. And now the dry brush, a little bit of water just to take away any hard edges. Now let's come to the background. Let the entire elements dry. And the background is quite easy. It's again wet on wet technique using your rounded brush. I'll show you one section here and then you can continue further the same way. Just clean your brush, take some water on the brush, and with the tip of your brush, just try to dab and then press the brush like this. Now, when I do it quick, I'm more better in it, but I'll show you how to do it in a slower way. So, like this. When I show you slowly here, I'm just wetting the base with just water, maybe two sections. Let me unzoom it. Yeah. Now, once the base is wet, you can take any color of your choice, but I would prefer some colors that are in our painting in the elements, like yellow color. Using the tip of the brush again, I'm spreading this yellow. I'm even going near my oranges and the grapefruits and the lime. Let the color spread. And on top of it, since the base is wet and we are applying the wet on wet technique, you can take some orange color. Like you are making dots, but the base is wet and the color is spreading. And as you keep on pressing your brush on top, the color gets more spread out and more blended. That's the reason that I use this technique for the background. And it is also useful for creating the clouds texture or the sky texture. And just for the outside, if you see some hard edges, with your paper towel, you can dab it so that you don't have any hard edges. Now you can even add a little bit of reddish color or reddish orange, brighter orange color here, whichever shade, or even pink color if you feel like. And with your paper towel, you can dab a little if you want, just to give a faded texture throughout. I hope it's an easy task to do, not that tough of a technique. I'll be asking you again. Let me just show you as we are continuing wetting the base. So see, I'm just wetting the base. Then I'm taking some yellow color here. You see it's got bright. So quickly I can use my paper towel, dab it a little like this. Then just continuing further with wherever you want to create this kind of background, you can wet it. Even if some color from the orange goes out, we are using orange already for the background, so it's okay. Adding some yellow. Taking a little bit of reddish texture here, reddish color. And now what I'm doing is Now this has not spread because the base got dried, so there is a solution to it. Just use a little water and spread it, and it will work. And you can do it with any color. I'm just dabbing a little bit of outside here quickly. Here as well. Adding a little bit of yellow here. Then, so you can activate your painting anytime. Even if the base gets dried, you can add some water on the base and activate your painting using your wet on wet technique. Adding little orange again, using the color to spread with the wet brush like this. So even if the base has got dried, you can add color and then you can wet it and spread it, and it will give the same faded effect. Dabbing the outsides a little. I hope everyone is good and enjoying and were able to complete till now. Even if not, just work at your own pace. Just follow what I'm doing. That will be really helpful even if you want to complete the painting later after the session. Now let the background dry. Just use the tip of your thin brush. Now, even if you're not at that point where I'm teaching you, you can easily continue where you are, whichever element you are on. Just watch what I'm doing so that it will be helpful for you. With the tip of your thin brush or with the tip of your rounded brush, whichever shade you want to darken a little, like in your grapefruit or in the orange or in the lime. So if in the lime part you want to make it more darker, you want to make it more brighter or greener, just take some green. And here we are applying the dry on dry technique. Very less water on the brush and no water on the base on the paper. Just some color on almost dry brush. That's why it's called the dry brush on dry base. That is dry on dry technique. So here on the outline, any of the sections. Just add a little darker touch. Add a few strokes. We are not going to keep it like this. Once done, clean your brush. Dry your brush. Take a little bit water on the brush and just rub it lightly on the strokes that you already added. It will fade out. I think we have done that before if we all were there in that particular painting session. We did that with the bricks, in the bicycle even, and even the window painting once we did. So it's like adding an outline and then using a little water on the brush to fade it out. Same way you can do it throughout. Not with the green color though, whichever color you have used in the base, you can use to outline and use it to spread further. I'm taking a little bit more here. Like this, adding a shadow here and then spreading it so that there is a outline there, but at the same time it fades out and gives color or shading inside your element. You can do the same throughout. I'll show you or give you a little idea. Till that time our background will get dried, and then we will do my favorite part, that's the magic touch. And those who've already attended my sessions before, they know what it is. But it's your choice. You want to do it or not. But I love doing it. And I hope you'll also like it. Just using a little bit of water. Add strokes here. I'm done with this lime. Same way I can show you for the one that I feel is a little light, that is the orange. Here you can even add some red outline to make it brighter. So, and you can even check the texture or the color on your paper towel first and then use it. So if I show you on one of these sections, adding a little outline here, adding a few strokes inside. Once done, you can clean the brush, take a little bit of water and fade it out. And yes, we also have to do the white acrylic. I asked Lynn specially for it, and we have to do that. That's easy. That will just give a little shine to your work. Wherever you want to add the brighter touch, you can add it. Or you don't even need to add a brighter touch throughout the triangles. You can add it randomly or alternate triangles or a few triangles. Like this one, I'm just fading out now. Just make one side brighter, the other side lighter. Giving a little bit more touch here. So this is just to give you an idea. You don't need to do it. But if you want to, you know what to do now. Same way you can do it with the purple or the pink one. Dry on dry technique. Adding a little touch. So I feel it's magic because when we don't use much water with the same color, it gets brighter. But the same color, if we use more water with it, it gets lighter. So it's just one color that we have used for the base and the same color we are using for the outline. And you can see the difference in the shade. The outline is darker and the base shade is light. So I feel that is the uniqueness of watercolors, and I hope you also feel the same. Adding more here. I hope it is good till now. I just wanted to show you a little bit of shine effect with the acrylics. It's 6:14. We still have 15 minutes. So just take a little bit of white acrylic paint. I have this one. Just putting it in my palette or a disposable plate. And you can use now in acrylics, we don't need water. We just need water to wash the brush later on to clean the brush. But here, just take a dry brush. Lynn, am I like rushing or should I wait? Good? Okay. So with the tip of your thin brush or the rounded brush, just take a little white color on the tip and just add a little shine to your fruits. So if we start with the green one, because this is the most dried one, let me zoom it in. With the tip of my brush, I'm just adding a few strokes of white. Like this. If you see them, I think I can see on the screen. Just to add that reflection or a shine in between, try to go in the same direction as the outline. And you can continue further wherever you feel like. You don't need to be that consistent. You can skip a few spaces like this. If I unzoom it, you can still see it. So wherever the base is a little dark, the white will show more. So we can even add it to the curves, the outside, like this. And you can even add some dots there. That is called stippling. I even have used this technique before. That is the art of adding dots or dotted texture to your work is called stippling, and these dots will give a nice shine to your work. Same way you can continue with the rest of your fruits, adding. But in case you still have to work on your painting, you still have to work on a few elements, then you can do the white part or the shine part in the end, because then you'll have to do double work. Then you'll add color, then you'll add white again. So it's better just to see what I'm doing and then you can follow later on. Adding a few dots here. Now, the best part is yet to come. For me, it is. That's the magic touch. That requires very less effort, just a little judgment, and it gives a nice touch, which I call it as a magical touch. Adding a few strokes here. Adding a few dots. Few strokes here. And you can even add some dotted texture. You don't need to cover each and every triangle, just showing you, giving you an idea what you can do and where. Like this. Now let's start with the magic touch. And I'm excited about it. I hope you all are doing good. Don't want to disturb you. Just try to see what I'm doing. It's an easy technique and I have shown it before as well, but I'll show it again. What you can do here is, let me show you. Wet your brush. There's a lot of orange in my water. And take any color of your choice, especially those colors that you have used in these elements. Like you can use some orange. So wet your orange color, add good amount of water, but not too much. For that, you can test whether it is sufficient or it is good enough. What you can do is, let me get a rough sheet. If you have a rough sheet or your paper towel around, let me put it on the side. The color is on your brush with some water. From the neck, with the neck of your brush, you can tap on the neck of your brush with your finger of your other hand, like this. Now, if you can see these dots, they are quite good. They are quite good in shape and size. So I can use this on my final painting. So please try it before you actually use on your final artwork. So we are just tapping on the neck. You can even tap with another paintbrush on the neck of your brush, which has the color, and keep on moving the brush randomly so that the color, the dots, they spread randomly throughout your painting. I hope you all like it. If not, it's not compulsory. You can skip that part, but try it on a rough sheet before you actually try it on your final painting. You can also clean the brush again and use another color, maybe green. So I'm using some water on my green, which has actually become a donut. There's all space in my green color. I've been using these colors for long. Now you can check it again on a rough sheet. These are good dots. I think I can use them on my final painting. And just spread them randomly throughout. Again, so this was all that is required in this painting. But the painting that I created earlier, that was for reference, it required like 3 to 4 layers of the same color to make it bright. But if you want a faded touch, you can keep it as is. So like just one layer won't be sufficient for the brighter shade, but it's your choice. Like if I show you, though I've made the dots, if you want to make any part brighter, since we have a little time, just want to give you an idea so that I'm happy that you know everything. You can activate your painting, right? You can just wet one portion which you want to make a little bit brighter. Just wet it. And take the same color that was on the base. That was orange. Just add it on the top of wet base. Now just add it. Now if I want to fade it out with a dry brush, I'm just fading out that part which I don't want and keeping the part that got a little bright and I'm liking. So this way, if you see the difference, there is a little bit darker touch or brighter touch in this triangular part than the others. So you don't need to fill them all. You can have a difference in shades. You can fill one more. Just add a little water. Add the color. Then use dry brush technique and fade it out. So you can continue the same way throughout. But I would love to know if you have any questions. We still have like about 6 minutes if you want to complete or you have any questions, you want me to repeat any part that you didn't understand or you want me to do again, you can let me know. We're
Mal,
done. Yes, Lynn.
what do you do with the pencils? That's in, I still see a lot of the pencil outline.
Okay. For the pencil outline, if you have outlined it with a pencil or you have taken a printout.
No, no. When I did the initial drawing,
Uh-huh.
the pencil's still showing through.
Yes. So for that, you can, once the color is dried, you can use an eraser to erase the pencil outlines. Or that's why I asked you to do a little bit of outlining.
Yeah.
And my original painting also has some pencil outline, which to me looks good. It gives a definition. But if you want to hide it in an easier way, but it will take a little bit more work, whichever color you have used, like this one, purple or pink, very less water on your brush and take good amount of the base shade color that you use. That's pink and outline it.
Mm,
You see, you are
mm,
making the thick line here because it
mm,
will solve two purposes. Like this, clean the brush, use a little bit of water on the brush, no color. Just fade out one edge,
mhm,
which is inside. Use it inside, use the color inside,
mm,
and see it will fade out and it will take away the pencil outline
mm,
almost.
mm.
Otherwise, when the color dries completely, you can erase the pencil outline. Is that helpful, Lynn?
Yes.
If you try this part, this one, it will take a little work, but it
Mhm,
will definitely look good. So instead of erasing, I can show it again. Instead of erasing, just give a little outline,
mhm,
then use a dry brush and it gets bright as well as the pencil outline is almost gone.
Got it.
Okay. Any other questions? But I think everyone is so busy painting.
I did
And
too. Why don't we, if we can stop and share what we've done so far, that would be
yeah,
great.
sure. Sure. We still had 2 minutes, so I didn't want to rush them. And I know it's tough to pick up the painting when it's wet. Okay, but please switch on your videos. I'm excited to see. It
I'm,
was a little bit more work, but I hope you all enjoyed.
I'm going to stop recording now.
Sure, Lynn.
Okay. Oh, look at Ellen. Look at that.